Ottawa clearance, Air Force One information, Sierra, clearance on request, ready to copy.
13 gusting 21. You prefer runway 25 or would you like something else?
I'd like to talk for a minute about an issue that's getting more and more attention. That's the issue which scientifically is called stratospheric aerosol geoengineering, also called the chemtrail issue.
Oh my God. Holy. There's 1, 2, oh my God.
Could a strange substance found by a southwest Arkansas man be part of a government test? Well, that's the question at the heart of a phenomenon called chemtrails, now getting widespread attention.
Well, they say the government is dumping chemicals on us to control or manipulate the weather.
And they say the unusual-looking jet trails in the sky are actually chemical-laden chemtrails.
The survival of the human race, literally, is at stake. The physical survival, the level of health that people will enjoy, the survival of the planet. If you're concerned about the environment, this is your issue. And yet most people have no idea that it's even going on.
To the mystery of the dying birds.
There must be about 100 birds in this bag.
There are dead birds all over this Somerset County neighborhood in Franklin Township, New Jersey, on front lawns, on top of roofs, and in the street. Neighbors are still picking them up. Andrea Kepik says it was like a scene out of a horror movie when she walked out of her home Friday night.
I remember the movie The Birds. There was a dead bird on my stoop. But then I just looked a little beyond and saw other dead birds on my steps.
And then she says she looked around and there were dead birds as far as her eyes could see.
I walked over to my car, stepping over them.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture confirms it is responsible for the controlled kill to reduce the European starling population. Township manager Ken Daly says the USDA placed seeds tainted with poison at a local farm.
Birds eat the seed and they metabolize the poison and die within about 24 hours. We've been told by USDA that the carcasses are not a danger.
The problem is, Daly says, the USDA kept the town in the dark so authorities couldn't warn neighbors who saw birds falling from the sky.
We did not receive notice of what they were going to do.
Neighbors are mad too.
We did clean it, but the people that were responsible for poisoning these poor critters, they should have cleaned them.
I'm standing here on location at the Georgia Guidestones, what's known as American Stonehenge. Now there's great mystery and controversy surrounding this, especially because it was featured in the Alex Jones film Endgame. Inscribed on these granite stones in 8 different languages are 10 tenets for healthy and happy living. The one at the top says that the population may not rise above 500 million worldwide. The second one references eugenics. The rest of them are something of a more benevolent topic. But there's so many other questions that we have. Who put these here? How did they get here? And why? It's been rumored by locals that Wiccans meet here for their ritualistic purposes.
So are you for or against genetically modified food?
Well, what our foundation is doing is we're working with partners. For example, DuPont Pioneer on some new maize things, with ADM on some cocoa growing things. Some of these are traditional breeding and some of them are transgenic. In parallel, we're also funding scientific expertise in Africa. So when 3 or 4 years from now, if things go as expected, there are some crops with big benefits, drought resistance, that the transgenic approach probably can do better than any other approach. Each country can decide what are the benefits to them and what are the risks, what's known about safety, IP licensing, and things that would make them hesitant. And then, they'll, on their own, be able to make that decision. The likelihood that the safety profile will be okay and then that will be beneficial, I hope that works out, because it is a tool, particularly for disease resistance, where you can put in a a new gene called an RNA interference gene for a particular crop problem, it would be a real help. And you're right on the verge of starvation all the time, so every tool that's safe and appropriate you at least want to look into.
You could call it a case of milking authority way too far. Citizens in the Southern California town of Venice are outraged following a police raid on a raw food store, all over a few bottles of milk. Could this be a sign that police are squeezing too tightly? Well, joining me now with more from our Los Angeles studio is George Heminger. He's the founder of Survive and Thrive TV. So, George, what the heck is going on over there? Do police have nothing better to do in LA than raid organic food stores?
Well, the Los Angeles Times broke this story, and what's shocking about this story is that police officers are going into this grocery store. It's a co-op organic raw food store, guns drawn, and we put this up on Survive and Thrive TV, and it's basically created a firestorm on the internet. People are really, really shocked that the police and the district attorney don't have anything better to do but to harass local cooperatives, engaging in sharing food.
Right, yeah.
It's pretty shocking.
Our viewers are getting a chance to kind of see that video right now, and it is pretty shocking stuff. I mean, you're seeing the police here with their guns raised like they're about to, raid some sort of drug house or something like that. I've heard of fights over a lot of things in the past year. We talk about immigration, healthcare, the war in Afghanistan, but tell me about this battle over organic foods that's brewing. I mean, why are people getting so fired up about this?
Well, what's happening in this country is big agricultural business, large corporations see these co-ops as a threat. They control a majority of the food that's produced in America, and they've hijacked the FDA and government regulatory agencies. If you think about it, these private individuals that go out and own a piece of a farm or own a cow and then share in that production of that is a threat to the market share of these corporations. They don't fit into the corporate model, therefore they must be destroyed, apparently.
Fluoride is a toxic industrial waste product from the phosphate fertilizer industry that's added to most municipal water supplies in the United States. Unfortunately, fluoride kills most of our beneficial enzymes, attacks the hypothalamus gland in the brain, inhibits proper functioning of the thyroid gland, can cause weakening of the bones, and can cause dental fluorosis in children, which is an irreversible mineralization disorder of the teeth. Sodium fluoride is also a central nervous system toxin that can diminish IQ, even in small doses. Although we're told that fluoride is added to our water supply to prevent cavities, numerous large-scale studies have shown no difference in tooth decay between fluoridated and non-fluoridated communities. If you'd like to keep this poison out of your body and your children's bodies, install a high-quality water filter in your home.
When you look at the bloodline families and the control system that they oversee, it seems that they are all-powerful. They control the media ownership level and at key positions within it. They control the corporations, the cartels of oil, of pharmaceuticals, etc. They control the forces of law enforcement and the military, ultimately. But one thing they don't control is the numbers. This is what humanity has. It has vast numbers of people, enormous numbers of people, compared with those at the core of the control system that actually know exactly what they're doing and what the agenda is. They are tiny in number compared with what is now supposed to be 7 billion people on the planet. So one of the agendas to bring this under greater control for them is to massively cull the population. They want to reduce the numbers. Now, if you want to remove lots of people, you can do it by injecting stuff into people's arms and they just keel over dead. But if you do that, and of course there is some of that goes on, but if you do that, all the other people lined up are going to say, excuse me, I ain't having whatever they've had. So you do it in a more subtle way, and you target the defense mechanism that everyone has called the immune system.